Hey everybody, Cornbread Man here, along with Biscuit Boy for the Wolf
Peace.
Nation, and we are honored tonight. I mean, truly
Yes.
honored to have someone who's much more talented than me. Obviously, she
And me.
is Miss Mia Suzanne Walker. Mia is going to tell us her story and her musical story or whatever she wants to share. We want to say thank you first of all for blessing us and coming on the program.
Most definitely.
And we just want to be a help and a blessing and share your story. And you've got a new album. We're going to talk about that. So, Miss Mia,
Yes.
how are you tonight? And as we record this, how are you doing? And how's the album going so far for you? It's just released,
Well,
I think.
yeah, it did. What we did first is we released a single first back in January, something I'd never done before. And I will preface all this by saying this album is full of firsts. So there's a lot of,
Awesome.
and we'll talk about those. This is the first one. I've never released a single ahead, so we released The Kenny Store, which is about a town in Kenny, Texas. And that one, I think it had over 17,000 views in,
Wow.
just before the album dropped as well. So that was really encouraging. It's already gone to radio and it's charting currently around 95 on the American Country Music Chart here in Texas.
Awesome.
So that's been really exciting. I've also never charted before, so there's
There you
Yay.
go.
the first, yay.
Congratulations.
Is that the one in front of the little like store? I saw it on your
Yes.
website. That looks
Yep.
so cool. I love that
Isn't that
look.
cute?
Yeah,
And what
we love small town.
yeah, oh, that's for sure. That's one. If you blink, you'll drive through it. Um,
Right.
but I had never been there before when I wrote the song, so I was just basing it on
Really.
what I knew that they did. They were a music venue, and I wanted to play there. And I thought it would be really cool to write a song and have the song do so well that everybody,
They
flooded.
want you to come play there.
Hey, have you heard this song?
Yeah.
So I
Wow.
get maybe a leg in to play there. I don't know, because you know how hard it is when you're trying to fight all the other musicians out there for gig spots. It can be
Right.
really great. So,
So have you
but
gotten that call yet?
well, we actually went there for the first time a week before the song was dropping, so I could
Yeah.
kind of warn them and say, "Hey, I wrote a song about this place, and just so it's coming
Drop it.
out." Gave them a copy of the album, and we're going to shoot the music video there a week from Saturday. So
Awesome.
a lot of
Wow.
fun.
So how
Yeah.
best can we
That's so
support that?
cool.
Obviously, buy the album, and I'm going to do
Yes.
that. I promise you. And I guess the single is available for download. I guess from different
Sure.
places. Or how best we do that? Do we make sure that it stays in the charts?
Yeah. Through the website, you can purchase it, but you can also get it through Bandcamp. So either way, or if you've got a place of your choice that you like to download, stream, or purchase music from, you can use any of those because everything's out.
Good deal. Thank you. So
Awesome.
how many albums have you done up till now?
This is number 4.
It's number 4.
4.
Yeah. In just 9 years. So that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
Well, you've
A lot of
perfected
work
it.
in just 9 years.
You've perfected it now, and so it's time
Yeah.
to take the foot off the brake. Nothing
Yeah.
but gas from here on, right? All
Yeah.
gas, no brakes.
And I think because I started this older, I mean, I didn't learn how to play the guitar till I was 51.
wow.
Yeah.
That's encouraging to people like me that are old. You know,
No, like
Yeah.
me as well.
we both are the same age, and I'm like, I've got guitars here in the studio, and people are like, when are you gonna play those? I said, well, I gotta get back to practice. I like, you've just inspired me. I need to get busy.
I can never get through the callus stage.
Yeah.
My fingers, I had it there at one point when I was playing them and writing a lot,
Mhm.
but I just can't get, I'm too busy, number one. And
So, what
Gotta get
inspired
over
you
that.
to do that? What was it? Always a dream, or what? What caused
No,
you to
I
do
had
that?
always done music because my mother was a music major. So we all grew up, all my siblings, playing something or doing something musical. And I really liked singing more than playing. And so by the time I was 11, I had a meltdown at the piano, and my dad said, "No more." I hate this. I'm never going to do this. Don't ever say that. You don't know when that's going to slap you back.
wow.
That's
And
right.
so all that time from 11 to 51, I didn't touch a thing. And then a friend of mine went to the School of Rock, and she was one of the teachers there. And she says, you would really have a lot of fun in our adult band. And I said, oh, no, really? And so I went there and I checked it out, bought a
Did you say the School of Rock?
School of Rock.
Jack Black's?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That is cool.
That is so cool.
It's a big franchise, so they're all over the place.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, really enjoyed it, and I took to it really well. It's like I had always done it, which is a weird feeling. And within a year, here's the fun part, within a year, I had already started my own business. I was starting to write. I mean, it was like opening a portal. And all of a sudden, I was writing all these songs. And after a couple of years of putting out my first album and doing all that, then I found myself working on the second one. And I was running over to my husband's keyboard to pick out chords because I could find them faster on the piano than the guitar.
Yep.
All of a sudden, through the School of Rock, I get sucked into playing more. So all of a sudden, I'm playing the piano more, and everything just started snowballing. And within 3 years, in 2020, I was already in the Grammys. So it was like,
awesome.
It was like I'm just speeding up. But I don't have as much time as somebody who's 23 either. So I think that's one thing that kind of lights a fire under me. It's like, I know any month, any day, I could get slapped with the "you are your age, fairy."
Meanwhile,
I'm just going.
Your story is such an inspiration.
Yeah,
to me,
I think so. For people over 50, it should be. That your life isn't necessarily over. You can learn new things, and you can work at it and do something. And gosh, it's just worth the risk if you can.
Pursue your dreams. Right?
How do you feel about, I think that I grew up, because I was born in the 60s.
Yeah.
And I there was some music a little bit in the 60s I remember as a little kid, but mainly the 70s. And the 70s to me were this, this time of songwriter, piano, guitar. I think of all the groups and the different ones, and you just played. You just wrote songs and played. And then you get into the late 70s, things had changed, and you roll into the 80s, music had changed. But I feel like over the last few years, more people have come back to what I would just call a singer-songwriter, someone that can show up, pull out the guitar.
Real music.
Yeah, real music. How do you feel about that? Am I somewhere close, or because things?
Well, yeah. I mean, look at the Lainey Wilson and the Bell Bottoms. I mean, all that's bad too. So we're just kind of reliving.
Hey, the first time I heard Lainey, she was doing a cover of a Stevie Nicks song.
Yeah.
And just her personality, the way she came across, her voice, everything. I said, that girl's going to be a star one day.
Yeah. And, Stevie's a great example of that.
Yeah.
Of that person who writes a lot of music, but also, is just amazing in her, career with group and solo. So, for you, where does the inspiration come? And I know this is one of those broad questions, and I give it to every artist, but how does your inspiration come for songs? Is it just something happens and you think, "Ooh, there's an idea," it kind of burns in your mind, in your belly? How do you develop a song? Because to me, that's magical. That's the magical part of the studio, is where it all comes together. But the initial idea, whether it's somebody playing the drums, the guitar, whatever,
be riding down the road and see something,
or writing that song, how does that happen for you? And it's just all over the place. What is that like for you?
Well, it's usually only one of two ways. Either I hear a beat, or I can hear the music, or I'm experimenting with something, either on the guitar or the piano, and I have a pattern that I like or whatever. Or the flip side of that is I have words and phrases or an idea, and I'm kind of writing out the idea, and maybe I have just a beat somehow for the idea, but then I have to figure out something musically to go with it. So it's usually one way or the other. For some reason, driving in my car really stirs the creative processes. Using that part of my brain does that.
Yeah.
And what do you do? It's hard to write it down. So I'm like trying to just talk into my phone and, or pull over and write something down on a piece of paper, or, I'll have ideas in the shower. When you can't write anything down, that's the way it goes.
I've had that happen to me on numerous occasions because I never write anything down and it just comes and goes.
I have to, because if I don't, and that's why my logo is a lightning bolt, just FYI, because one flash and then it's gone.
Yes, and we put that on the screen.
I'll put that on my tombstone too. One brilliant flash and she was gone. Just like Hee-Haw.
I was wondering when I saw that.
I remember Hee-Haw. That's exactly what popped in my head when you said that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So how long does it take to bring that to the end product where you're ready to put it down in the studio, or is that fleshed out in the studio and you go song by song? Or a lot of artists do this differently. How does that work for you and your band? How do you get from that idea? What is that like? And I know there has to be times it's, pressure, you're trying to get this thing pulled together, but you tell us, what is that like for you getting from that initial idea to getting a finished song that you have recorded and it's ready for the world?
Yeah, it's funny you should bring that up, because on this particular album, one of the tracks is an intro to Cruising With You, which is the last new song on the album. And I talk about that in that little intro. I say, it took me 3 times trying to get this song, to that process. And this time is the perfect time for it. And it just really fit in with everything else. And oddly enough, the producer, Dale Penner, who's worked with Loverboy, Nickelback, all these different people, Wendy Mouton from The Voice, he said, he didn't want me to put it in there. He didn't think, it was going to work. And I said, no, I think so. I said, people really like this, especially, playing it live and different things. I said, I think it'll work. And I'm just so glad we put it in there, because it took years of trying on that one. Typically, though, I will write something, add the music to it, and I put it in a folder. And then when it's time to go to the studio, because I kind of have an every other year approach to my recording, I'm either recording and releasing or promoting for a year and recording. I kind of have this rhythm that I've set up over the years. Right. And it helps financially as well as mentally and physically. There's some people who release stuff every year, and that would drain me, Yeah. Because even though the kids are older, they're still 4 and they still want things from time to time.
This is true.
Show up. Got to show up in their lives, dadgummit.
So Mia, are you, I know you said your mother was a music major. Are you classically trained at all, as far as, we're knowing what clef notes and all that stuff?
I obviously I know some, but it's very minimal. I always struggled, and I figured this out late in life after I started playing guitar, that I could not process the right and the left hand fast enough. By the time I figured it out, I was like 5 measures already too late.
Yeah.
And how I learned to play the piano in my 50s was I played off my guitar chords, and I was just right on it. And I filled everything else in with what the song was supposed to be, and so that's how I got by doing that.
Awesome.
And
That's a neat shortcut.
It is, because I do better with letters. So I see a B, I see a C7, whatever. I can process that a lot faster than I can
something here, there.
Yeah, a C of Chinese.
Right.
Just works better in my brain.
Does being an art, because you're artistic, you have these things that you must share with the world and get out. I'm going to ask you a different kind of question. I don't think I've ever asked an artist, anybody, but an artist difficult to live with sometimes because they're so focused on getting that, getting out that what they have. And I don't mean difficult as in, mean or anything like that, but just that you have a vision for what you want. And other people sometimes can't see that vision of what you have. Even friends, they can't understand. Even producers sometimes can't understand what you're trying to get to. And that's that back and forth sometimes that producers and artists sometimes don't see, like you were just saying, he didn't think you should put it in there. You felt like you stood for that.
I knew it needed to.
Yeah, and so you knew it needed to. How's
Yeah.
that? How was that perceived by the producer? Did he fight against that at first, and he just gave up?
Oh,
or?
she's just being difficult.
Yeah.
You know?
How does that happen for you?
I'm sure that has crossed a producer or two or three's mind over the years when I've said something, but I've learned, oh my gosh, I've just made that mistake too many times. I've let something slide instead of saying, no, this isn't right here. And guess what? They're not going to be listening to it. You're going to be the one listening to that mistake for the rest of your days on this planet.
That's
and every time I will hear an older song with something in it that should have been corrected, it just drives me crazy.
I've heard that with so many artists.
With this project, I was like, no, I was, a lot firmer about it.
Well, that takes guts. I'm glad that you stood your ground because the music world is not easy, and there are people that are being done dirty every day.
Yeah. For sure. Who are your musical influences growing up? Who influenced you that you just love their music and you feel like maybe it's a part of your DNA now, that it comes out through your music, but totally different, but somebody that you really enjoyed listening to growing up?
Well, the first time I turned on the radio that my dad handed me, that was going to be mine, I turned it on, and the first song that they played was Starland Vocal Band.
Love them.
I was just gone. I was like, whoa, because up until that point, I had just kind of heard either older things like Andrew's Sisters and, really old music that my parents listened to.
Right.
Church stuff, which was at that time still very staid. The Jesus movement hadn't come into play where praise songs were a thing. And so I really hadn't heard anything quite like that because that music that was out right now was so different from what my parents and my way older sisters listened to. And so that was an influence. Alabama, because they have a lot of those harmonies.
Yep.
Then you get into the rock bands like ELO and Journey and Styx and all rock that was out, around the time. So a lot of those things influenced it.
So you're just an influx of all of that.
Oh, I love ELO. Geniuses. My goodness, I love all the.
Probably the best thing to come out of Canada.
I love that'd be debatable, but they are awesome. Journey and these are all things you grow up with. And
BTO was from Canada too.
And speaking of Canada, there was a group that actually came to our high school of all things, and their name was Saga, and they were from Canada.
Oh, wow.
I don't know whether you remember any of those Saga songs, but my gosh.
I do.
Around.
Yeah.
They're still around.
What a great what great influences to have.
Definitely.
So before we talk about the album, because I really want to talk about this new album and kind of what that's like in the journey for that. We certainly want to get that in, but have you as a female artist have young girls, you feel like you've influenced them musically, some musicians even? Have you met some that say, hey, you really touch me, or I love your music, or anything like that as someone that's mentoring in a way, even though you may not be right there all the time, but your music is mentoring them down that road? Have you met people in your concerts and stuff like that have ever said anything like that?
There's really not been an age limit on it. I think people in general, if they hear a song that they really like or something, they'll definitely let me know, how much music's meant. Within the industry, I think the big thing that people are blown away with is, the gig schedule and still being able to maintain that and put out music and, do everything I do. So I collect Wonder Woman things. And I get, a little bit of that too.
Right.
That's cool. How do you balance it all? How do you balance all?
I think it helps having been an office manager for over 20 years. That was a professional career. And this has to be run like a business if you're going to be successful in the music business.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they call it. Otherwise, it's a hobby. You know, you've only got two choices. You either run it like a business, or it's just going to be a hobby, and you're going to
That's true.
play, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no happy medium. Not if you're going to keep your sanity and everything else and enjoy what you're doing when you can.
That's the way owning your own company is. I mean, you're either going to do it or you're not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Your passion. I mean,
Yeah.
you pour your heart and soul into it, the work, I don't see
Yeah.
work, but hours, and you're doing when others are not, you know, you miss things. There's just part of it. I mean,
Yeah.
small business owners, whoever they are, you are working hard to get done
Right.
that you want to do, and there's schedules to keep, just like you said, you know. So what kind of places do you play? I guess people play wherever they're asked, but where do you typically play your music at?
Yeah.
Usually bars, restaurants, farmers markets, those
Awesome.
places. Yeah.
So do you play any larger venues? What's the largest venue you've played at?
I would say the largest crowd we played for is at the Texas Bluebonnet Festival that's held about an hour northwest of here. And they have an outdoor stage, and we'll be playing there again this April. It's one of our favorite times of the year to play. The weather's usually decent. I'm not going to win myself. I know better than to speak that into the universe.
Spring in Texas.
But it's cool to think, hey, you know, there's over 20,000 people out here today, and they can all hear what we're doing. You know,
that's amazing.
A cool thing to be able to bring your music out to that many people at once.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So let's talk about the new album, because that's really, you're promoting that. We need to do that. Tell us about the songs on there, and maybe a little synopsis of that song, and
what can we do to help you promote it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there it is for the folks.
Oh, that's a great looking cover.
Watching that. You like that?
I love that.
I did that in Vegas. I had gone out there to work with a gentleman on just cleaning up some of the composition aspects of some of the songs, you know, like progressions or something that I wasn't sure about, or doing things a certain way. And while I was out there, a friend of mine's son is a Vegas performer, and he takes some incredible pictures. And I thought, you know, I need to get some pictures made. And I had the thought to go ahead and, you know, get a bandana type outfit to go with Bandana Woman. And we went out in the desert and shot all these. And if you see the back cover is the back.
Awesome. Wow.
So it turned out really nice.
Great job. He does take some good pictures.
I do a show on the podcast.
It's sand. It's
wow.
And it's textured, so it's like the desert. And Disc Makers, I'm going to give them a shout out. Disc Makers is who created the physical CD and did that. I didn't even tell them, you know, to texturize it like that.
Wow, that's awesome.
On their own.
I love it. Now, I'm old school, so I love albums and CDs and all that. Digital download is fine, but I like having the something tangible. I do a show, and one of the things I do on that show is I call it Dave's Vault, and I pull albums out of my vault, and you know how I got them, what they meant, what I remember about why I got this album. And to me, there's that memory of me going through and looking through album covers. It's starting to come back now. You're seeing more of that. You know, the albums are being released and stuff like that. But I love the fact that people are still putting music on albums, on CDs, and whatever. Because for me, that was the fun part, to get the package, open it up, pull the insert out, and read through everything in it while the album or the CD is playing.
You learn about the band. You know, they used to have great biography, so to speak, inside the albums. It's really cool.
You did a great job with that. But I was going to say is I bought albums before just because of the cover. I would have bought that album just for the cover. That looks so cool. I mean that. It would have grabbed my attention. Like Bandana Woman. I mean, wow, I just love that title. I love the images, and shout out to him who did that for you.
Yeah, that came from the fact that I usually put bandanas in my logo colors, one purple and one green underneath my tip thing, and mine that has the QR codes and things to scan. And I'm always, kind of like that pattern anyway. So I kind of said, okay, with this, I'm going to write a song about me this time. And so that's how that all came about. And I always like to check on the internet and see if who's using those words, whether it's a song or an album title or whatever, to make sure that there's like no negative connotation attached to it. Some major scandal or something that brings some bad feeling back for somebody. And there wasn't anything with those particular words, you know, in that way. And I thought, oh, cool, I think I'll take that. So
that's hard to get nowadays.
Yeah. This is the first album that I played guitar on. I've always done a little keyboard work, but I've never played acoustic guitar. And the producer,
what kind of guitar do you have?
And I was like, okay. I upgraded from the Keith Urban to a Taylor back on for my birthday about a year ago. Yeah, it's been about a year.
Okay. Nice.
I've got a couple of Gibsons and a Fender.
Yeah.
I love my Fender. It's it's black. I got it because it reminded me of Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
It's solid black, everything black on it. That's what black's my favorite color. My wife's favorite color is purple.
There you go.
Purple bandana. So.
I love it. So let's talk about the songs. Tell us the names of the songs and a little bit about the song, because we
the first one is,
let's support artists. This is what we're doing this for, is to support artists. And nowadays it's hard. And ever since the big C word, when artists weren't allowed to do their craft, we're recovering from that. And this is how we recover. We help artists, and let's do that and commit ourselves to helping this artist and buy that CD. So tell us about the songs on it. These are your babies, you know. These are your creations. I love this.
Give us your personal insight.
Okay, we talked about the Kenny Store. And that's the first one. The second song, Lighten My Load, I wrote that at one of our Grammy events in March one year. And that's one of those that hits like lightning. And I had it written by the time I left. Everything, it was so easy. It just kind of, went with the flow.
Sounds like you got sort of an Eagles vibe going in there.
Yeah. The third song, Ain't I Country Enough, was written about frustration with all these venues that have these single male artists, 30 artists that play country, but everything's the same. There's no variation. It all sounds like the same song over and over again.
Right.
And I had gone to a venue and I said, I wanted to play there. And she said, well, have you heard of this artist and this artist and this artist? They play here too. And I was like, well, that's interesting, but they're all males. I said, would you like a female artist for something different? And she's like, sure. So I gave her my card and she said, I'll give it to my manager and I'm sure he'll take a look at it. And I thought, oh, okay.
Sure.
Anyway.
Well, that is.
Oh, well, I tried.
Yep.
Exactly.
Frustration over that in 2020, 3 or 4, which it was at the time, that you still, I thought that I would be discriminated against because of my age. I never saw it coming that there would be such a domination in the gig structure, like where it is pretty much 85-90% males out there.
I didn't realize that.
I
not realize
it is here. I don't know whether it's that way.
You're not
States,
seeing it. You're not seeing it. On the grand stage, you've got all of the ladies.
Oh yeah.
And they're there every year. And then you've got a few that come up, but it's mainly dudes.
I did not realize
that you're here, kicking it out on the airwaves.
Yeah.
Was it kind of cathartic to get that song out? Just kind of releasing that frustration into that song?
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah, I took a risk with it. I don't know that it's going to get played or listened to as like the others, but it made me feel better.
I think that's the song that should be played, because that is that's something different, maybe, and something that maybe not other people are doing. And I think a lot of people identify with that, no matter if it's musical or whatever field it is, that still that you feel like, wait a minute, because listen, I'm getting older, and I know that there are times they're looking at me in my career like, other companies, when I was looking at it and interviewing and stuff, they're looking at me, how long is this guy going to be around? I mean, sometimes people want a plug and play kind of person. Other times they're thinking, I want a long career if I can get it. So I feel like that has came into play in my life, that age played a factor. Now it's hard to admit, but it's true. But I never thought about the other. I didn't know that was happening for artists. female that they were not giving you the time of day. That's horrible.
That would be a
Mhm.
great, that song in particular. I would promote the,
Oh,
out
yeah.
of it, just as an inspiration to those women out there that are going through the same thing.
Right.
There's probably hundreds, maybe even thousands out there.
Sure.
'Cause I can format my set list, and I've even said that in emails and everything else, that
Right.
I can format the set list. If you want it all country, I can do all country, but at least, give me a shot. But
Yeah, definitely. Let me
Yeah.
show you what I can do.
that song and then the one right after it, Bandana Woman, which we talked about, which was a little bit about me. Both of those songs, they had some things recorded in Nashville, actually. So this is my first album that had parts of it recorded in Nashville. My friend Sparky, that plays guitar for Leonard Skinner,
Yep.
he lives there. He's based out of there. We went to high school together.
Oh, okay.
We
Cool.
were in a choir together. So I contacted him and I said, hey, can you do it? I'm really going hardcore with these country songs now. So I said, can you play on these? So when you hear those two, that's that influence on there.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
We'll definitely
And then
We've got a really big business in Nashville.
yeah.
The type of business that I'm in, the financial business. We help
Okay.
people, and we help a lot of people. We've helped artists. We help everybody.
Mhm.
Grow, save, and protect their money. But that's a
Yeah.
different song for a different day.
Yeah.
So would you? What's your dream venue for Mia? What is Mia's dream venue? Some might say it's whatever, but what?
Yeah. I would say it's anywhere. Obviously, indoors is always a safer bet because of the weather.
Right.
I would say either or, a place where people have come and they're sitting down and they stay, for a show and they're there to hear our music and to support our music. That's, that right now that's a big dream.
I'm going to step back.
Your name's known enough. It's
Yeah.
out there.
Right.
Your music's
Right.
known.
They're coming to hear us, because a lot of times you play at these restaurants, they're coming in, they're distracted, whatever. They come in, they enjoy it while they're there, but they're, they eat.
They're
and
not there to hear
they're there for an
you.
hour to eat. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're there to do whatever, and you're there to just
It's opportunity
play
to grab
music.
attention.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to go back. You mentioned Nashville, and I did actually my honeymoon in Nashville, and we did a lot of the stars things and tours of homes and all that. But one thing we got to do is we toured recording studios, and when you go in that RCA studio, and it's just dripping with, all the people that recorded there, from Elvis to Jerry Reed. Oh my goodness. And I listen, I get it. Nowadays they say all I need is a laptop, a microphone, and my guitar. But there's something about a studio when you walk in and you've got all of that soaked into the walls. For me, that's just, I think that's something special right there. I get it. You can record anywhere, an old house by the beach or what. It doesn't matter. But how do you feel about that, being in a recording studio, or where do you normally do record at? How's that happen for you? And we'll continue the songs. I just want to touch on that because you mentioned Nashville, and it's loaded.
That's part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And the other reason we had to use Nashville is that my violin player that has done all of my albums, I wanted him to be a part of this. Well, he moved from Houston to Nashville, so I called him up and I said, hey, Sparky's over here in this studio recording. Can you get over there and record violin parts for these particular songs? And I gave him 3 songs that I needed fiddle on. And so it worked out great, that because of Sparky, I got a studio recommendation and was able to tie them in together. But here in the Houston area, I've used a couple of different studios. I like changing it up a little bit so that I can get to experience
different sounds.
And then that way I have an opinion, as to, what fits best for me. So I've still got another one I'd like to explore in another project down the road. But primarily I've used Lucky Run a lot because it's kind of central. And my studio band is different from my performing band There's the studio band guys. This is what they do. So they're cool during the day, and they kind of have a different skill set.
Yeah.
Than my.
Their timing's different.
Yeah, a lot of things. Timing.
Yeah.
What they can do and how quickly they can do it, and all that. So that's why I use that particular one.
Awesome.
We've got a really good recording studio right here in Chattanooga. It's on Lookout Mountain.
There's been a few of them.
Yeah,
over the time.
There's been a lot of big bands.
Yeah,
come in and record there.
What's our next song? Which one we going to now?
Well, we kind of dip into the tropical side at this point in the program.
Cool.
We have In a Tropical Depression, which is really cool. Since
I listened to that one. It's on your website, right?
Yeah.
I love the video. We got video, we got music, and I'm glad. I didn't know that was off the new album, so I'm glad you're going to talk about that. That was cool.
Yep,
I love
that
the name
video.
of the song.
Thank you.
There's so many ways that could go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Matter of fact, after we're finished plugging the Kenny store, the radio wants to do that one next, which is surprising. I thought that because my favorite off the album is Far, Far Away. I thought maybe they want to do that one, but they actually like that one. And it has a video. So that's another thing about it. But it was funny when I released the video for the first time, I got a negative comment on my social media. Somebody put fat and old, but still sexy. I thought, and I just cracked up. I thought that was hilarious. If I was younger, I probably would have been in tears and I can't believe it. But
wow.
Funny.
Well, I could get I get that fat and ugly. I don't get the sexy part. Maybe Biscuit Boy gets that.
I said, we need to put that on a T-shirt because
yes,
men or women could just fat and old, but still sexy. Yeah.
Hey, it's kind of, you remember how Forrest Gump got some of his ideas, he wiped that blood off his face with the shirt. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love it.
Oh my Lord.
That looked like a fun video to make too. However
it was all done in Coal Creek Productions. And then we used stock footage married with the studio footage to make it look like I was actually on location when it was just a background on a white wall behind me. And then we had a sand pit that we had put temporarily on a piece of plastic, to make it look like I was actually at the beach.
Right.
And it does. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
But it has a lot of color in it. I mean, there's tons of colors, and the song. So what is the song about? What is the premise of the song?
Premise of the song is, somebody's had a breakup and they want to just get away from it all. And so, they go away, but they just can't really, that other person's still there. They say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to find somebody else that will dance and show me romance and all that. Right. But then that feeling overwhelms them, just like a storm. A tropical depression comes in and it just ruins the holiday for them because they just can't stop thinking about, this
that's deep.
Yeah, it is.
That they care about. And so I thought, ooh, what a cool idea to marry that with, with the storm idea and bring that in. And then the other song, Far, Far Away, which is another tropical one on this album. It's more upbeat and it's got just a funky groove to it. And that's why I did a instrumental copy of it at the tail end of the album, because I thought, hey, somebody may just want to put this on a smooth jazz playlist or whatever and just have it as the background at the pool. You're hanging out at the pool or whatever. Want some instrumentals that take it and run with it. So that's why I put that on the album, even though it's technically not a new song. It's just another version of it. So I thought that would be great. And then With You is the last song, and it's about driving on the freeway and just being with the one you love and going places. And I love it. I miss Get On With It. That's more on the pop side. And it's kind of got a bop kind of vibe to it, that kind of 90s, kind of. But that song is about people who can't make up their dang mind.
I love it.
Yes, and everybody has one of those in your life where you'll give them the answer. You'll say, "Hey,
Yeah.
this is what you should do." You know, if they're in a quandary, and then you'll get
I
back.
don't know. I just
No, I can't make it. I'm like, oh.
See, is that teenager? I think I got a teenager like that. Like, could you make up your mind? Because she bounces from thing to thing to thing. You know,
Yeah.
just
And of
do it.
course, husbands would say that about females for what's for dinner. You know,
Thank
What?
you.
What do you want
Thank
for dinner?
You know what?
Guilty.
This is going to sound. I don't know. Hopefully not real bad, but
Yeah.
ever since Adam and Eve, you know, Eve made the wrong choice about what
Somebody
to eat,
should make a
and now they can't make a choice on what to eat.
You're gonna be in trouble. You're right.
I know. I am in trouble.
Bad emails coming in on our Cornbread Nation show. I can see it now.
But anyway, it's a joke. It's just a little funny,
Yeah, I
thing,
know.
you know. But,
Yeah, it
this
is
very
weird.
true. I don't know. It's something.
It is weird that, you know, but yeah, they're fun. This is the first album that I've had all the songs on it where I've played them live.
Right.
Not a one on here that I feel like I couldn't play in public,
Yeah.
other than maybe Ain't I Country Enough, that has a little bit of more of an, you know, negative, gritty context. But for sure, most of the others we play live and everybody claps and they love them, even, which is a surprise because they haven't ever heard the song before, but they'll start, you know, tapping their feet, you know, whatever to the song, clapping along. And, you know, they just really love it. So
Have you
Me
ever
personally,
done-
I think that playing them live 1st
Mhm.
helps them to breathe and to grow. I just think, as I've listened to a lot of bands, and when they've done
Yeah,
that,
you perfect
they
that
always
sound,
think
yeah.
that the results are a little better when you do go record it. Like you've had a chance to kind of grow within that song a little
Yeah.
bit. And, you know, face it, I mean, when you play a song night after night or wherever you're going, there's little things nuances that change within a song. I just think it helps you find that center point of where you want to be with it when you go in the studio. My opinion, and not may not be yours, but I just feel that
Well,
way.
you got to let it get down into all the nooks and crannies, you know, fill everything in. But
Well,
my question,
yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say we had time with this. A lot of times in the past, when I've finished doing a recording, it was coming out a little faster. And I was not really pushing the band to learn the songs. And all of a sudden, we're doing this album release and we're playing live. And it's always been a little awkward. So with this, I actually, as soon as we were done in the studio and I knew this is probably going to be the way it's going to be, there's not going to be any more changes, I started making them learn 2 songs every month or so. We were learning 2 and just really dig it in. So that way, when we had our album release, we were playing them wonderfully.
Nice.
Like, for months.
So
Yeah.
you take a couple of songs each month and add it to your repertoire.
Yeah. It worked great.
Have you ever collaborated with anyone, writing a song or recording a song?
No, and I would like to. I think that's a fun idea. Obviously, in a perfect world, maybe I could get with Keith Urban or.
Hey, I would love to collaborate with you to write a song, and I've already got the name of it.
Oh, okay. What's that?
Fat and old, but still sexy.
Wouldn't that be a
And
campy,
think
tongue-in-cheek
about-
thing?
Yes, think
about
about
it.
the video. Think about the video. All of the older country stars that we could get to come in. I guarantee you, I know I can get in touch with Vince Gill.
Yeah.
And
cool.
you know, I mean, I know I can get in touch with him, but
That'd
I
be
would love to
fun,
have like
wouldn't it?
Dolly Parton,
You could pick-
all these people in the video once we get the
Yeah.
song right.
That's great. I love it.
It's not it.
I can see it now. That would be
I
a
could
big
really
hit. I'm telling you.
It would because there's you've got the majority of the nation allegedly is over 50 now.
There you go.
Yeah.
If
That generation.
if that's something that you feel like you'd like to do, let me know because I would love to do that. I love writing music,
Yeah,
cool.
I love it.
and I've got a really deep voice, so I could sing baritone. On your song if you wanted me to.
How do you know
That'd be
what
funny.
album?
But
Go ahead.
still sexy. I'm fat and old. still.
But I'm still stuck.
60.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I love it. That's great.
Yeah, there's so much. Man, my mind's just
I know,
going
we're
crazy. all
spacing.
Oh
the
no,
time.
now I'm going. You turned on my writer brain, so
Yeah.
now oh
Yeah.
God, here it comes.
This is cool.
Wait,
This is like, I mean, when you said that, I was like, that just kind of resonates right there.
it
Like,
does.
because I've actually been called that in podcasts. Like, dude, you're fat and old. I just didn't get the sexy part, you know.
I'm still sexy.
I love it.
It's so tongue in cheek, you know.
It is. It's
It
great.
really is.
It is. It's
How-
all in the eye of the beholder. Anyway.
How do you know an album is done? How do you know there's no more? I've ever saw
You
this.
run out of money.
That's that giveaway right there. Yeah.
I love it.
Well, this is it.
The life of an artist. Okay, that's it. You hear all these tales of bands, we're done, and somebody goes, "I've got one more idea," and they're like,
Yeah.
"No more ideas," you know. And they're
Oh, no.
burning out. They've been in the studio together. They're ready to kill each other. It's finally put to bed, as they say. And one guy says, "Oh, I got another idea," and the producer goes, "Hey, I like that." And they're like,
No.
like note to self, kill the singer or kill the guitar player, whoever who said we're going to do another song, you know. But that's a perfect answer. Yeah, we run out of money.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you got to remember with this album, this is basically 10, although I didn't get charged for the intro or for doing the instrumental since it was already part of the thing anyway. But you figured the 8 songs on this, plus I had just put out 2 Christmas songs.
Oh,
Because
wow.
whenever I go to record, I always do Christmas songs with whatever it is I'm recording so that I'm constantly putting something new out there. And eventually I'll have enough to put them all on an album. But you don't want to put out a Christmas album and then sink all your money in that when it's only going to get played, for a couple of months. So it's easier to throw out some singles every time you go into record.
Yeah.
Still be building that catalog, but
I did
Yeah.
see on your website
Very good.
something about the Christmas song. So
and there's a video too for Falling, Falling, Falling. So if you get on there and go check it out, it's pretty funny. This cat falls in time with the music too, which is pretty.
Oh, wow.
I got to check that out. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, you got to check that out. It's pretty funny. But that one's really good. I haven't done one for Come Down for Christmas yet, but both of those songs.
I did one year. I did the entire song of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and rearranged all the words.
Oh Lord.
It was Ludorf the Ned-Rose Danerear, and it made
Oh, no.
0 sense. I mean, the stupidest thing I had ever done, and I was asked to sing that at a big Christmas party, and it brought the house down. Everybody just loved it.
Wow.
And it was the dumbest thing I believe.
Well,
I've
it's
ever
funny
done in my life.
if you go all the way back and you listen to the TV show WKRP in Cincinnati,
Yeah.
the last
yeah.
song that they played, the outro song, it
Uh-huh.
sounds like this classic rock and roll song and everything. But if you look
Yeah.
at the lyrics, they make absolutely no sense. It's like just a bunch of phrases that make no
Right,
sense.
right.
But everybody goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, I like that song." But you can't. There's no lyric really. There is, but
No meaning to
there's
it.
no meaning to it. The words are just kind of weird. And some bands will do that. Some bands are, the lyrics are real important. They want everything and want the lyrics known. Some bands just plug the word in because it fits in that particular pitch or to make that
Right.
phrase work.
Yeah.
And people
Mhm.
go, "It makes no sense," and they go, "We don't care."
But it rhymes.
It rhymes. It made sense for
The
you.
timing's right. Or whatever.
You're probably it's got a progression or something with that song. But there are bands that do that. They just sing something that it just rhymes.
It was like Def Leppard at the beginning.
Well, that's who I was thinking of.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Well, that and I think Rocket.
Like-
He tries to throw in as many artists
Yeah.
into that song, but they're in kind of a weird order. And he goes, "We weren't looking for order. We're just looking for what sounded right."
Yeah.
So because they're all
Mhm.
about sound, and it's a good sound, but that's just the way they are. But that's a great point about that intro, which was one of those things that was thrown in because they just said the producer or the engineer was
It was
saying that.
cool.
And it ended up being a big thing, so they still use it, which is kind of cool. So, what is your? But we don't want to. We're going to run out of time, and I appreciate you being on here so much. This has been a blessing.
Yeah, we'll have to do this
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, we definitely stay in contact.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Let me get a couple of questions in, and Paul
Right.
may have a couple.
Go ahead.
What is your? What have you ever had one of those? mishaps where the sound goes crazy, or it's range or outdoors, and you're like, just gritting it to get through. Because every artist, go ahead. Every artist has that moment where something didn't work right. Have you had one of those? Somebody falls off the stage or something like that. You're like, oh my gosh. Have you had anything like that happen?
Oh my goodness. I'm sure there's been some of those moments. I'd have to stop and think off the top of my head, or ask my husband, because he's probably gonna remember. Well, I can't believe you can't remember that. Remember when this happened?
Oh yeah. Well,
I tried to block out that painful memory, I guess.
Yeah, and reading, sometimes when there's a song I really like, especially live albums, I will read a little bit more into it, and somebody will say, because a lot of times they take live songs from different places, different venues, because it's the best sounding recording. Well, there was artists I've read where the guitarist was mad through that whole song because he felt like the sound was bad, and so. Well, you take the greatest. I mean, even Eddie Van Halen, Eruption. Yeah. He says he messed that up. He never was happy with that particular. Everybody loved it, all the guitarists.
Right.
Or the power wasn't right, or they were off time, or out of key, or whatever it was. Those things happen. I mean, that's live music. It's going to happen. So I just wondered if you had anything like that. Probably the band would have been before. They're like, she just keep singing. We'll get back in time here.
The one thing I remember that was kind of funny, actually, from this last summer. Is playing at a venue by myself. I was doing a solo show, and it was summer. And during the summertime, I tend to do more beachy songs. I'm very seasonal. So during the summer, I'm doing Beach Boys. I'm doing, Brian Adams, Summer 69, all the things that relate to summer, right? And so I had this new cover. I was so excited to roll it out. I was doing Kokomo. And so I'm out there and I'm doing this song. And every time I get to the chorus, this dog comes, and it's a big dog. And I'm outside by the pool at this venue. And so this dog is coming up and, and it starts like she's trying to sing with the song. And I'm like,
that's awesome.
What the hell? And then I wouldn't do anything. Obviously, I'm not going to pet her in the middle of my song. And so I went to the verse, and then she kind of walked away. And then I do the chorus again, and here comes the dog again. And I'm just like,
wow.
God. Turns out the freaking dog's name was Coco. So
really,
wow.
She was like thinking I was going
That is awesome.
Oh my gosh, what a coincidence.
Wow.
You can't write that script. No. I'm telling you.
No.
That's what fascinates me about when you're out doing live stuff.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. That is so awesome.
I was in a outdoor tabernacle type church service one time, and the weather was, we eventually had to close the flaps. It was going to be some weather. So the evangelist was preaching. There was this dog that came up the center of the aisle, because it's an outdoor tabernacle. The dog comes up, and he walks right up to the evangelist, and he just sort of stares at him. And the evangelist is preaching everything. Well, you can't not notice a big dog, like you said, a big dog.
It's not supposed to be there.
Well, he don't know if it's friend or foe, and he don't know where it came from. And so he looks at the dog, and he just stops for a second. Everybody's looking at the dog anyway. Like, it doesn't matter what he's saying, because they've all looked at the dog. Yeah. And so he looks at the dog, and he goes, well, I guess he wanted to hear the preaching too. And the dog laid there the whole time, crossed its little paws,
that is awesome.
And laid his head and watched him wherever he went and listened to the whole preaching. Never made a sound. And then it stormed, and we closed the flaps. And I guess he sensed it was getting ready. I think he just heard him preaching. He wanted to hear it. But that's fascinating that you. And what's even
Coco.
Well, what's even funnier about this? Here, it gets a little deeper here. We rescued a dog from my granddaughter. We've had her for 2 years. Her name's Coco.
Oh, wow. That's right.
Are you kidding me? Yes. A little black Chihuahua. I mean, it's Coco. I mean, this is like forces coming together here. This is amazing.
Wow. It's like it's meant to be.
It's meant to be. That's what we always say. That's perfect. I love that. So my other one was in a question. I'm gonna let Paul close out. Okay. What's your favorite moment that you've had on stage, that when you think of it, it just makes it touches you deep, or it's funny, exciting, your biggest moment where you walk away going, I'm going to tell the great grandkids about that because that was a moment. Has there been one like that? Or are you still searching for that?
I would say that they're continuous because one of the things that I really like is on several of the songs that we do, my husband does these more intricate, you hear all these extra sounds in the drums that really swell. And as a side note, we play in church every Sunday. He plays drums at church and I play piano. So we're used to making those rises and falls. Mm-hmm. And so we've been able to pass that over into our live performances. And I think it makes them better. And I will hear on not every song, because not every song lends itself to it. But when that's happening, and then we're all singing at once, because we all have mics now. So whether we're a trio or a full band, everybody's got a mic on them. And so when we have an opportunity to sing together, it brings it back to that Starland vocal band thing that just really hits me the most. And so those are my happy moments when we're just doing something really good musically. And then everybody's singing too, because you can tell the difference in the performance. And those are the times that I feel the best about the performances when we're.
You call that your Seven Bridges Road moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really great song. It really is.
I love it.
Gosh.
Great harmony.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Paul, what else you got before we let
Well,
Miss
there's
Mia
one
go?
question that I ask every single person that we interview. And that is, do you know the Lord Jesus Christ is your personal Savior?
Oh, yeah. I got baptized when I was 11.
Praise the Lord.
Then over the years, even I got married young, so that'll keep you lined up really fast.
It will. It will.
No time to play.
It doesn't matter if you get a flat tire. It doesn't matter if you get a flat tire, you're still moving down the road regardless.
That's right. And I had a daughter. My first daughter was young, so I was turning right around and raising her, in the church as well.
Amen.
And it really helped that I was in the military. I was in the Air Force.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Yes.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So going to the service on the base really helped with the stress of everything else, that you deal with. Yeah. And so I never really had a moment where I wasn't involved, for sure. And then as I got more involved in music, that's where I started serving. Was in all the music capacities. And I was even a worship pastor for a while.
Wow.
So I did that for a while as well. But we definitely are leaders on our team, at church. So we're there every Sunday and
I love it.
Plugging it away. And, that's one thing that when I started this business, I had laid all my music out and I said, show me which way you want me to go with this.
Yeah.
And, because I had initially thought about, you have that guilt, like maybe I should just be doing worship music and that's it. And the feeling that I got from it was, put out the things that are mine, right. Do what I'm supposed to do and build a platform so that when I do put out a worship album, there'll be people that will listen to it because it's something you can play live. So you're not going to earn anything back from it. And it's a big chunk of money that you got to have to produce something that the only place it's going to get played is internet or radio, if you're lucky.
But if you think about this, if one person comes to know Jesus Christ through one of your songs,
it's worth it. Yeah,
it's worth all of it.
Absolutely,
every single bit of it. Just one person.
Yeah, we say that about the podcast. That although we do a lot of different kind of shows, the overarching part of this podcast, what it's really here for, is that we can present to the world that blessed hope. And
Christ is King.
That absolutely. And so even we do have ministry shows, but we may be doing a comedy or sports or whatever, but it's always about that we can touch somebody.
And we might approach PG-13 sometimes.
Well, we do.
You know what I mean?
Our spastic brains.
It's kind of like,
but we're still sexy doing it.
Exactly.
That's right.
Still sexy doing it.
Still sexy. Hey, because God created sexy.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's like this. I heard a pastor say the other day. He said, you get mad at this person for whatever, and what'd you say to the guy that cut you off on the way to church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get mad. You say something about him cursing. What'd you say?
Yeah. So I was just thinking, if we were a trio and we went by those names, it would be fat, ugly, and sexy.
There you go. And I want to tell you what, have you seen the guys on that do the videos on Facebook, whatever? But one of them's kind of
I haven't seen those guys.
And then he is hilarious.
They are.
I mean,
they play that up really well.
Yeah, he crosses his eyes and everything.
I don't know how he does that. I don't know how he does it. Keeps a straight face. Honestly,
I don't either.
My goodness. Miss Mia, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you'll come back one day. We would want to have you back.
Yeah. Well, at least I know one podcast I can bring my worship album to, and it'll get played.
There you
Absolutely.
go. And we can do that. We have a platform where we can play stuff like that.
Oh,
if you ever want to promote anything you're doing, just send it to us, and we'll make sure it gets announced. And we're going to definitely promote the album.
24/7.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're family now, so we want to help you out as family. Good family.
Let us know what we can do to help you.
Any last words from you? Hold your CD up one more time if you don't mind.
One more time.
Because we want to show that.
Man and a woman.
That is so
woman.
cool.
Love it.
Yes.
Folks, go buy that and go to her website.
Definitely.
What is your website's address? Like, you don't have to put the whole thing, but basically what is it?
SuzanneSpann.com. That's SUZANNES. For those that are listening and not getting a visual or something, I want to definitely spell it out, SuzanneSpann.com. And also it helps if people like and follow all the socials too.
Yep.
We're Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got Twitter, we've got a YouTube channel with lots and lots of videos on it. And so,
we'll do that tonight ourselves, our listeners, when we play this. Please do that, and let's support artists. And
Spotify, Pandora, all your listening sites, click the follow on those too. And then
you got it. Thank you so much. This has been a ton of fun. And
I
hope you enjoyed it, because we've had a ball.
Yeah.
It's been great.
It's good. And Paul, what was your last name? I think I missed it.
My last name is Putnam, Putn, as in Nancy, AM as in Mary. But you can call me Biscuit Boy.
Biscuit Boy.
Okay.
David, I go by Cornbread Man, and this is Biscuit Boy, and
that's me.
Okay.
We do a couple of shows together. Well, that's what people know us as. So it just kind of happened,
All right. Well, I'll work on the lyrics, Paul, and when we'll get a Zoom together and work on our song.
Let's do that.
That's cool.
Let's do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to send you a Facebook request. It'll be from Paul LeBron Putnam II. That's me.
Okay.
And let's collaborate on something. I'd love it.
That's so cool.
That sounds good.
All right. Good night. Bless you and your family.
God bless.
I hope dinner's good, because you said the drummer's coming in, and you're going to know when that interview is over. So it's time to go eat. So we're going to get out of here. Bye-bye, Miss Mia.
Good night.
Bye-bye.